Welcome back to Before AGI Weekly, everybody, your one-stop shop for everything AI all the time. This week, we're diving into the biggest AI developments, turning all those breakthroughs and trends into, well, hopefully some insights you can actually use. Whether you're a tech pro or just an enthusiast, get ready. It's been a wild ride, right?
Oh, absolutely. A whirlwind is more like it. To me, the sheer scale of it all is just remarkable. We've got these billion-dollar data center projects going on, and then AI models independently making scientific breakthroughs. It seems like, I don't know, every day we're pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.
Yeah, and let's start with that scientific breakthrough. Google's AI co-scientist has been making headlines, and for good reason. I mean, in this AI isn't just crunching numbers, it's actively, participating in the scientific process.
It's amazing, really. Imagine a whole team of AI specialists. Each one has its own expertise, right? So one AI agent might be like super good at analyzing research papers, while another one is amazing at formulating hypotheses, and another one is a whiz at designing experiments. They all work together, just like a human research team would, but, at warp speed.
And get this AI team actually rediscovered a scientific breakthrough on its own, something about bacterial gene transfer. And the crazy thing is that Google's own researchers had already made the same discovery, but hadn't published it yet.
Yeah, that's what's so remarkable. It demonstrates that this AI can contribute to real scientific progress. It's not just hype anymore. We're seeing concrete examples of how AI could revolutionize scientific discovery.
It really makes you think, what other breakthroughs are out there just waiting to be discovered with AI? Pretty exciting stuff. But it's not all sunshine and roses, right? I mean, AI is making waves in the lab, sure, but the transition to the business world, well, it's not always smooth sailing.
Yeah, you're right. There's this huge gap between what AI can potentially do and how companies can actually use it. We're seeing companies like BNY Mellon, America's oldest bank, they're partnering with OpenAI to integrate AI into, like their core financial operations. And that's a big deal.
Yeah, that is. And, 74% of banks are already using AI for fraud detection. So I guess it makes sense to expand AI into more complex tasks. But on the flip side, we see these reports saying, like, 80% of telecom AI projects are going over budget, and only 30% are actually working as promised.
That's the thing, right? It just goes to show that adopting AI isn't as simple as plug and play. You really need to understand the technology, have a clear strategy, and be ready for some, big changes in how you do things.
So it's not just about having the coolest AI tools, it's about knowing how to use them. And that competition to develop those tools, it's heating up, especially between the US and China.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The AI landscape is becoming more global every day. Look at DeepSeek, for example. This Chinese AI startup developed this incredibly powerful and affordable AI model. It's causing quite a stir in the West.
Yeah, I read that their model is actually causing some Western AI companies' stock prices to drop. What's making them such a threat?
Well, they've managed to develop some cutting-edge AI tech, and they're making it accessible to a wider market. It's putting pressure on those established players to step up their game, innovate and adapt, or get left behind.
It sounds like the AI race is on. And
Yeah.
it's not just bragging rights, it's about real economic and geopolitical implications. All this development, though, it needs massive computing power, right?
It's a global infrastructure race. Companies are pouring billions into these huge data centers. We're talking like Microsoft investing $80 billion. And there are rumors that Meta might be planning a $200 billion data center campus.
Those are some mind-blowing numbers. It really shows you how much these companies believe in AI's future. They're putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, they're making sure they have the computing power to train and deploy those increasingly complex AI models. These investments, I think, are a clear indication that AI isn't just a fad. It's a transformative force. It's going to reshape industries, probably the world, in ways we can't even imagine yet.
Speaking of transformative forces, how about robots? Are we any closer to, seeing these AI-powered robots in our everyday lives?
Oh yeah, for sure. We're seeing some really impressive progress in humanoid robots. Figure AI, for example. They recently decided to build their own in-house AI for their robots instead of, relying on something like a general purpose AI from OpenAI.
Interesting. What's the logic there?
Well, I think it highlights a trend we're seeing.
Hmm.
Specialized AI models might be more effective for certain jobs, especially I think when it comes to robotics. So by developing their own AI, Figure AI can fine-tune it to meet their robot's specific needs, potentially, giving them a performance edge.
So it's not just about AI being smart. It's about being smart for the right job,
Hmm.
right? And it's not just factories and such. I mean, Emeda is investing in developing sensors for humanoid robots that are designed for, like, household tasks.
That's right. They're not building the robots themselves, but they're laying the groundwork for a future where these AI robots can help us with, everyday chores.
That would be a game changer for a lot of people, I think, especially those who, might have difficulty with those kinds of things. But AI isn't just entering our homes, it's shaking up the financial world, too.
Oh, absolutely. The release of Anthropic's Claude 3.7 Sonnet had a huge impact on the cryptocurrency market, caused a 12.5% surge in AI-related cryptocurrencies.
AI is impacting the markets in real time. That's wild.
It's happening more and more. AI breakthroughs are influencing investment decisions, and smart investors are definitely watching this space closely.
It's volatile for sure, but man, is it exciting. But all this progress, it does come with some ethical considerations, right? And
Yeah.
we saw that with Christie's AI art auction. It sparked a lot of controversy and even protests.
Yeah, it really did. That auction raised some really important questions about copyright and ownership and, the role of AI in artistic creation. We had thousands of artists accusing Christie's of infringement, claiming that the AI-generated artwork was based on their work without their permission.
It feels like AI is making us rethink our whole understanding of creativity and ownership.
We're entering uncharted waters, for sure. And these debates are important. We need to have them as we try to figure out what AI's expanding role means for all of us.
Well, this has been a whirlwind tour of some of the biggest AI developments of the week. AI is evolving so fast, and the impact it's having on our world is, it's already profound.
It really is remarkable how AI is pushing us to rethink all these things we thought we knew. And the art world, that's just one example. We're seeing it in finance, too, especially with the rise of DeFi, decentralized finance.
DeFi, yeah. It's a term I hear a lot, but I'm not always sure I totally get it. Can you break it down for us? What exactly is DeFi?
Sure. DeFi, it refers to financial systems built on blockchain technology. They often use these things called smart contracts, basically to automate transactions. It's all about making finance more open and transparent, accessible to everyone, and often it cuts out those traditional middlemen like banks.
So it's like cutting out the middleman.
Yeah.
Using technology to create a more, a more direct financial ecosystem.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And AI, well, it's playing a bigger and bigger role in DeFi. You see it in things like, trading algorithms, managing risk, that kind of thing.
So AI isn't just changing how we interact with finance, it's potentially changing the whole system.
It has the potential, yeah. And just like with any disruptive technology, there are going to be winners and losers. Some companies are embracing this change, seeing the benefits. Others, well, they're struggling to keep up.
It's like that classic story of adaptation, evolve or die. The companies who can adapt to these new technologies, they'll thrive. The ones who cling to the old ways, well, they might not be so lucky.
Exactly. And it's not even just about using the latest and greatest AI tools. It's about changing your whole way of thinking. You need a culture of innovation, experimentation, constant learning.
We were talking earlier about the investments in AI infrastructure, all these data centers popping up everywhere, billions, even trillions of dollars. Does it feel like, an AI bubble? Are we getting a little carried away with all the hype?
It's a fair question. I think there are definitely some concerns about overspending and, a disconnect between the expectations and what's actually happening.
I remember reading something recently. It was about Microsoft. They might be scaling back their data center expansion plans. That seemed like a big deal.
It did, yeah. And you can understand why people are talking about it, right? Microsoft, they're a major player. Any hesitation from them is going to get noticed. But you got to look at the bigger picture. They're still heavily invested in AI. They're not the only ones.
Right. Meta is still considering that massive data center campus. $200 billion, that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And Apple, they just announced, was it a $500 billion investment in U.S. infrastructure?
Yeah.
New AI server manufacturing facility that was part of it. Doesn't sound like a slowdown to me.
Not at all. And then you've got NVIDIA, the king of AI hardware, right? Their latest earnings report, it blew everyone away. Shows you that the demand for AI chips, it's still sky high.
So maybe those bubble worries are a little premature.
It's hard to say for sure, but AI's got momentum, that's undeniable. Like Jensen Huang, NVIDIA's CEO, he said it best, I think. We're at the beginning of the AI supercycle. And I think he's right.
It's an exciting time to be alive, witnessing all of this, but it can also be a little, a little daunting.
It's a time of huge opportunity, that's for sure. But we have to be thoughtful about it. We need to address the societal impacts, the ethical implications, the economic consequences, all of it.
We got to ask the tough questions, right? What about the workforce disruptions that AI could bring?
Yeah.
How do we make sure AI is developed and used responsibly? And I think the biggest question, who benefits from all of this? And who gets left behind?
Those are the big questions, and there aren't any easy answers. But we have to have these conversations. AI is evolving, it's integrating into everything. We can't just ignore these issues.
So we've talked about the breakthroughs in science, the challenges and wins for businesses implementing AI, the global competition, all that infrastructure, and of course the ethical stuff.
Yeah.
What else should we consider? What else is part of this AI roller coaster ride?
Well, amidst all the hype and excitement, and maybe some anxiety too, I think it's important to remember that AI is about improving our lives. That's the driving force behind it all.
It's easy to get caught up in the complexity, the potential downsides, and we've talked about those. But we shouldn't forget the positive potential, the good that AI can do.
Right. AI could help us solve some of our biggest problems, I think. Curing diseases, fighting climate change, fostering creativity, even understanding the universe better.
That's a pretty inspiring thought. So as we wrap up this part of our AI deep dive, what's the takeaway? What should our listeners be thinking about as they go about their week?
Yeah, it's a good reminder that at the end of the day, AI is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. It all comes down to, I guess, to us, to the people using it.
Right, we have a responsibility to guide its development, make sure the benefits are shared fairly, and we can't ignore the potential downsides, the negative consequences. We got to work towards a future where AI is helping us, not, hurting us.
Yeah. We've seen the amazing things it can do, like you said, helping with scientific discoveries, creating new kinds of art. But we've also seen how it can be, well, misused, right? Leading to financial problems or ethical issues. It's a balancing act. We need to be aware of the risks. But we can't stifle innovation either. It's tricky, but it's important if we want to use AI to its full potential.
So what's the one thing our listeners should take away from this AI deep dive?
I think the biggest thing is this. AI isn't some futuristic thing anymore. It's here, it's now, it's already changing our world, and it's only going to get, I think, more influential in the years to come.
It's changing how we work, how we think, how we create, how we invest, heck, even how we see ourselves.
It's a force to be reckoned with, that's for sure. And it's up to all of us to, I guess, to steer it in the right direction. Whether you're, a techie or just someone trying to understand what the future holds, AI is something you can't ignore.
That's a great point. So to all our listeners out there, stay informed, stay engaged, stay curious about the world of AI, right? Because the future is being written right now, and we're all part of it. And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world of AI. You can also find more in-depth tutorials and AI analyses on my YouTube channel, Ian Okiauchi AI. Until next time, stay curious.